Counter-Strike can be an extremely confusing game, and it can be very difficult for new players especially to understand when you are accurate in the game and when you are not. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of a guide that's going to teach you how to understand when you can be accurate, when you can have good spray control, and how we can make sure that your rifling and spraying is just top tier. A lot of you guys are new to this game and I want to help you out as much as possible. But first, if you're going to play Counter-Strike, if you're going to be a CS2 player, you have to have good skins, guys. You have to. So let me give you a message from the sponsor of today's video.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. With it being the holiday season, there is no better gift to give yourself than a new CS2 inventory. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code CoJo. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
All right, shout out to Skins Monkey. You guys are amazing. We're going to get all of you guys hooked up with the good skins. So shout out to them. They're amazing. But yeah, let's talk about it. So like I said, a lot of you guys that are new to this game are struggling with understanding when you're accurate, right? It can be very hard. So essentially what we need to understand in Counter-Strike is we need to always try to have our movement speed as low as possible, right? That doesn't always mean that we have to be completely still, right? Essentially, when we're moving around the map and doing stuff, whenever we're moving, we're gonna be inaccurate, right? So when we're running around like this, we're not accurate, and you know, we have to get really lucky to hit a accurate shot. And I'm gonna use these bullet tracers to kind of give you an understanding of this, but we can see this very well with the AK, right? A lot of you new players are running around and shooting, right, like this, and it's just not good. I see a lot of players in silver, low elo for, you know, Premier running around like this and trying to get kills and, you know, doing this kind of thing. It's not good, guys. Stop running while shooting unless you have like an SMG. The SMG category is going to be what you want to do with this because it's very accurate while you're running around, right? That's where you can actually just like run around and do this. But for those of you that want to get better at this game, you have to be able to rifle. Rifling is key to being better at this game. And even with the pistols, right? Understanding this movement. So essentially what we need to do, instead of doing like what I just showed you, running and spraying, is we need to actually make sure we're stopping when we're shooting, right? So let's take this for example. Say I'm trying to clear this angle. Say there's somebody hiding right here. What I don't want to do is, like I said, I don't want to just run in here and do this. What we need to do is have calculated peaks. So I'm holding my D key, and when I'm about to shoot them, I'm going to tap my A key and crouch or just cancel my momentum, right? So we're going to do this. You see how I stop my momentum, and it's so accurate, right? It's completely accurate. And a lot of you guys are not good at spraying, right? You don't understand how to have good spray control. Make sure you check out the video I made on spray control and how you can practice that, because that's going to be everything, right? But as far as your movement goes, you always want to stop it, right? And we can do that by crouching. That's another easy way to do that. I wouldn't rely too much on crouching because the problem is when you're crouching, it's very hard for you to move. So from the enemy's perspective, if you're crouching, it's an easy headshot for them, right? So you crouch, boom, it's easy for them because you can't move, right? It's like you're kind of stuck here. So what, you know, pro players will do is they'll go in between crouching and uncrouching and make themselves really hard, because from the other team's perspective, the other player's perspective, your head is bobbing up and down, right? So we need to throw in a lot of that. But the good thing about when you're crouching is even if you're moving, you're very accurate, right? Compared to like if you're just running. So it's a little bit of a cheat code when you're new, is if you're crouching, you're still going to be okay. And it kind of makes it easier because when you're at a high level, you know, you can kind of just do these little jiggles and be accurate, right? You can do these. But when you're trying to get the hang of it, really crouching and stuff is going to be your key to shortcutting this, right? Is doing these little crouch peaks. But don't rely on it too much. Now let's talk about like pistoling and how we can do this. So it's all about counter strafing, guys. So like, say I want to peek mid here, but I don't want to stay here and be exposed, right? I just want to take a little pot shot and leave. The deagle is your expert weapon for this, right? It's the best thing to use. And essentially all we have to do is, I'm going to look at my feet here when I show you this, is we're holding D and then we're tapping A, right? D and then A, D and then A. But we're trying to shoot right in the middle of that, right? So D, A, D, A, right? D, A. And we're trying to shoot right when I cancel my momentum from holding D to A. Because when I'm holding D, I'm inaccurate. And when I'm holding A, I'm inaccurate. So we're trying to go right in the middle of that, right? Right in the middle. Boom. Right in the middle. Boom. And that's how we're going to get these accurate shots that are going to hit T stairs, right? Boom. So you just get in the server and practice this along with your spray control, and that's how you're going to hit these insane shots. And from the other team's perspective, if you do this right, they barely see you. It's like they see a sliver of you, right? And it's so hard for them. But you can do this all around the map, and that's, you know, where we get into pre-firing, which I made a video on that too. It's like this is the whole concept of pre-firing, you know what I mean? And just getting into that. And Counter-Strike has a lot of these crazy, like, weird mechanics that you have to learn, right? Especially with like ping and interp and stuff. It's so important that you know how to be able to have good movement like this and understand that, right? And then also, guys, you got to understand when you're landing from things, you're very inaccurate at first, right? And I think we can showcase this with the op. And it's just something you got to understand about Counter-Strike. You're so inaccurate as soon as you land. I hate it, right? I hate it that it's in the game, but it makes sense. So just keep in mind when you're landing, you're not going to be accurate, and you got to wait that extra half second, right? So that's where, you know, landing in these kind of areas and then peeking up is very effective versus like just jumping out in the middle of nowhere. I thought I'd just throw this in here because it's something I see oppers especially that struggle with, is like they're coming out of apartments here, and they'll try to just shoot right away. And I mean, like, that's accurate. I don't know, but like in an actual game, you're not gonna be accurate when you're falling like this. So just keep in mind you're gonna have to wait that half second in order to have an accurate shot. Because if you're just trying to hit a clip or something and do this, it's not gonna land. Like, trust me, you're not gonna be accurate, and it's not gonna happen. And you know, it's not as bad with the rifles because you can spray, right? But as you can see, like, it's just so bad. So make sure whenever you're shooting, you have your feet on the ground. You should never be shooting when your feet are in the air. And that goes without saying. Like, don't be jumping around shooting when you have a rifle. It's awful. That's like horrible. And you know, when you're opping especially, it's just inaccurate. Never ever try to shoot while you're jumping, right? Keep your feet planted, play these angles, and then really jiggle out everything, right? Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. You know, we want to wiggle and jiggle around the map, and that's going to be our key to succeeding. So I hope this guide gave you guys a little more insight on how to become a better rifle player, you know, even pistol player and upper. It's kind of an all-around guide, but essentially it's going to be the same for every gun, right? Even opping, we're going to hold our A key when we're peeking into an angle, and then we're going to tap D when we're ready to shoot, right? Boom. And, you know, crouching again can really help with this and make it a lot easier. But essentially, at the end of the day, whenever you're shooting, guys, just if you're going to take anything from this video, make sure your movement speed is as close to 0 as possible, right? So like I said, that can mean crouching. That's a really easy way to lower your movement speed. Or that can be, you know, mastering your jiggling, right? And how do we get better at this? We literally just get into a server and you just practice. Literally just practice. Hold tap D, tap A, tap D, tap A, and then start shooting, right? Start getting better at shooting. You know, do something like this where your whole goal is to get all of your bullets to come through this hallway, right? Practice that. And it looks really easy, guys, but I'm telling you, it's a hard skill to master, right? It's a hard skill to master. And it's something that you really have to practice. So get into a server, work it out, see if you can get better at it, and you guys will become pros in no time. With my recoil guide, you're going to become a pro. And then with this movement guide, it's going to teach you when you can shoot and when you can't shoot. So it's all about learning this kind of stuff, guys. And you're going to have a head start against other players that are trying to figure this out by themselves. So take it from me, take my advice, and make sure you're doing the best you possibly can. And I know I will see you at the top one day. I'll see you in my games. And it's going to be awesome. So shout out to all of you guys for supporting me. I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. As you know, I upload every single day. So I'll see you all later. Peace out.